Today's video has been sponsored by Helix Sleep. One of the most iconic and versatile fast food creations of all time is the McDonald's Egg McMuffin. From a hangover cure to something you grab last minute when you're running late to work, to something you begged your parents to get you as a kid before McDonald's stopped serving breakfast at 10 a.m. For those of us who remember that being a thing, we are now showing our age. But today, we are gonna try to figure out who's got the best McMuffin recipe on YouTube. We've got the classic version from Inside Edition, we got the mushroom pork loin version from Sam the Cooking Guy, the 100% plant-based vegan version from Stache, and then the amazing looking ham steak version from Joshua Weissman. Let me know down in the comments whose McMuffin you think will come out on top today, and let's get right into this one. This episode is already kind of reminding me of the Crunchwrap versus from a few months back. Yes, it's the same fast food item, but the interior could not be any more different. And it's a good thing I am well rested and up for the challenge of making all of these today because of some of my favorite humans over at Helix Sleep. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently ship them right to your door. The truth is that everybody's different and Helix knows that. That's why they came up with their sleep quiz to match your unique body type and sleep preferences with the perfect mattress for you. Exactly 1 year ago now, I took the sleep quiz, and because I am a back sleeper and like a medium firm mattress, they matched me with this mattress, and I have not looked back since. We're a year in, and I am loving this thing now more than ever. I've told you guys again and again, I have never slept better in my entire life. I feel like Vanna White. And do not forget that Helix delivers your mattress right to your door for free. It comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up, and if it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried yet, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. If you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund. They also offer a 10-year warranty and flexible payment plan, so a good night's sleep is never that far away. So if you are in the market for a new bed, click the link in the top line of the description to go to helixsleep.com/David Seymour. You can get up to $200 off your mattress plus 2 free pillows. And thank you so much to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. From the looks of things, you cannot get any more classic than Inside Edition's version of the McMuffin, so I figured that's a perfect place to start. All you will need is some salt and pepper and English muffins, some ground sausage meat and butter, American cheese, and a couple eggs. As I went to go watch this video again, it's kinda no duh, it's the most classic. They literally exactly copied the press release when McDonald's released the so-called recipe for the McMuffin. It was kinda in the thick of the beer virus time when all the brands were like trying to not let you forget about them, and they were releasing recipes and secrets from the business like McDonald's and Disney. And I know Inside Edition is pretty meme-worthy, like they post a lot of cringy videos, especially with Lisa Guerrero. But some of their videos are good. This one isn't too bad. I actually really respect the woman keeping her son in the video who tells her to her face that the sandwich is shit because it's burnt.
Time for the taste test. How'd Mama do?
It's a little burnt.
It's a little burnt? Oh no!
That was pretty funny, at least, but this sandwich comes together in like 15 minutes. The hardest part is forming the sausage patty. And yeah, this could not look or smell any more like a McDonald's breakfast. So let's give option number 1 a shot. Just noticed a hair on there. I know I mentioned in the past that I'm not the biggest fan of American cheese. I only really like it on burgers, like smash burgers, but this has to be added to the list too. It's such a good combination, and when it melts, it kind of just acts as the glue and helps to like hold all the components together. It's really good though. It reminds me of being late to high school because I would run and get one of these on a coffee, or in more recent years running there at like 12 noon. Perfect place to start, and it will hold the top spot for now. Next up today, we've got Sam the Cooking Guy and his very interesting looking teriyaki pork and mushroom McMuffin. If you would like his, you will need some all-purpose flour and active dry yeast, cornmeal and vegetable shortening, some Kewpie mayonnaise and sugar, teriyaki sauce, salt, some shiitake mushrooms, and whole milk, warm water, a pork loin, some American cheese, an egg, and butter. As you have seen in the various clips, there are a few extra components that wouldn't normally be anywhere near a McMuffin. But first, we gotta start with the homemade English muffin. This is the first of 2 recipes that use a homemade muffin. And it's simple enough. You pretty much mix everything together in your stand mixer. You let it rise once in a large bowl, and then a second time when you have them cut up and coated in the cornmeal. I don't know why we don't make these more and use them in more recipes. They're amazing for breakfast, obviously, but they're great for sandwiches. Technically, yes, they are baking, but they don't get baked. They just get cooked on a flat top or a cast iron, as I will. And they're pretty foolproof from the fermentation time to the mixing. You want this crumb to be super uneven and craggly inside. You want big air bubbles. It's pretty much the opposite of any kind of cake or other muffins that you make. I do feel like it would be a little bit disingenuous to not at least acknowledge that this is one of 4 sandwiches Sam makes. He does make a classic version and some other, but I love when he gets super weird, like when he made the surf and turf crunch wrap. And this one just seemed the most unique and intriguing, so I figured why not. It's still gonna be a fried egg, American cheese, and pork on the inside, but instead of ground up sausage meat, we are going to thinly pound out a piece of pork loin, which I think is genius because this stuff is super cheap. You'd be able to get like 25 sandwiches out of this one piece of meat. And you're getting all the flavors of like a porky sausageness, but the texture of chicken almost. And of course, we can't forget to chop up our shiitake mushrooms and give those some time to cook down with a little sprinkling of the teriyaki sauce. I think these are gonna be amazing. Just layering on all of the components make this look so good. The way the mayo and the teriyaki sauce kind of mix together, the way the hot pork is going to melt the American cheese. I don't care that it's almost 11 p.m. and I've eaten over 3 meals today. I am drooling once again. So let's give contestant number 2 today a shot. I love my job. I'm running out of adjectives for Sam's food. It's so creative always, but it's so damn flavorful. You would never think American cheese and teriyaki sauce would be a good combo. It is so good. It's so much better than I thought it was gonna be. These homemade English muffins are phenomenal. They have such a really thin, crispy outer texture, but the middle is just so soft and pillowy. And the mushrooms, of course, I love any kind of mushroom. Maybe the only thing I would warn is be careful with the salt. There's a lot of salt in American cheese, in teriyaki sauce, in those mushrooms that I put. So it would be easy to overdo it. This is not. This is absolutely perfect. It's probably up there in like top 5 sandwiches I've ever had, not just breakfast. Unreal, just absolutely phenomenal. Next up today, we've got an old friend of mine, Mark from Stache, with his 100% vegan McMuffin. To make his, you will need some onion powder and maple syrup, some Just Egg substitute and Beyond sausage, firm tofu and Indian black salt or kala namak, vegan English muffins and some brown sugar, some vegan butter and ground sage, ground thyme, and some plant-based cheddar cheese. So over the years, I have seen some of you guys asking for vegetarian or vegan recipes. If you are primarily interested in those, I cannot recommend this channel enough. As always, the link will be down in the description to go check out Stache. He is your one-stop shop for any food you're looking to make vegan or vegetarian. And as I mentioned, I actually met Mark a number of years ago when he was first getting his channel started. I believe he came to a panel at Playlist Live that I was moderating about, funny enough, starting a YouTube channel, I believe, and now he's got a better one than I do, so I guess I'll just take all the credit. I'm just kidding. This guy has worked his tail off and deserves all the success he has found. He's pretty talented too and makes some good looking stuff, or else I wouldn't have included his recipe in today's video. For the egg, he presses out some firm tofu and then cuts out a little circle to fill in with the Just Egg substitute to make it look like a actual fried egg. For the sausage, we remove the casings and then load it up with breakfast sausage seasonings. I won't even lie, when I was cooking the sausage, it smelled freaking incredible. I don't know if it was the spices, the combination of that with the artificial butter and the coconut oils. And then, of course, it's gonna get finished up with some vegan cheddar cheese and English muffins. Side note, who knew Thomas English muffins were not vegan? They include whey, which is obviously found in milk, and dairy is a no-go for vegan recipes. I'm going into this one very excited by the smell of the sausage and the looks of this sandwich. I am very eager to see how this one stacks up. I'm sorry, but for being completely made out of plants, this is pretty impressive. I just fooled my entire family. Look how good the top of this egg looks. That looks like an egg. And sausage and cheese. I am impressed. Texturally, this is great. Every single component pretty much matches exactly its real counterparts. If I was a vegan, this would fill the void perfectly. If I forgot what a real McMuffin tasted like, because as far as flavors, it's pretty far off. I won't lie, especially coming right after two very good real ones. I would say overall it just reads as like bland with hints of what it's trying to be. Like I should have went even harder with that black salt. There's just a hint of egginess, a little bit of like sausage spices, but it's not bad at all. I'll probably finish this gladly, and if you're a vegan, I would imagine this is probably the best you can get. Last today, but certainly not least, is Joshua Weissman. I think he has probably won the most number of Versus episodes we've done. Don't quote me on that, it just certainly feels that way. For his recipe today though, you will need some sugar and garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce and cornmeal, some bread flour and mayo, sriracha, whole milk, creme fraiche, instant yeast, some salt and pepper, smoked paprika, an egg, butter, and a whole deli ham. Once again, we are making our own English muffins. Is anybody shocked by this? This is a Joshua Weissman recipe. Surprisingly though, because we're using that instant, rapidly whatever yeast instead of the active dry yeast, this is gonna come together a lot faster than Sam's. You bloom the yeast with some warm milk and sugar, and then mix everything together in your stand mixer, let it rise until doubled in size for about an hour, shape them out into 7 equal pieces, and then pretty much cook them off. While I was getting those finished up and then starting with all the individual components, I would like to mention, recently, whenever I include Joshua in a video, I see a lot of comments kind of like slewing him for a couple of things, but most abundantly, I see people saying that he kind of acts like a snobby, elitist, too good for any kind of like fast food or fast casual restaurants. And I never really noticed that, so I started paying a little bit more attention, and does he sometimes act a little too good for a fast food or cheap food item? Maybe. It's just funny because I certainly don't. I love me a pack of ramen or something off the dollar menu every once in a while. And also because I've worked in and been around so many restaurants in my life, and almost all the chefs I know do not cook themselves gourmet foods. It's almost comical that they bust their butt making such delicious and amazing looking foods, and then go home and just chow on whatever they can find. So if you're wondering, the stereotype that many chefs eat McDonald's or other fast foods after a long dinner service is sometimes true, at least in my experience. Apparently not Joshua though, and he sticks to that in this video. He buys an enormous ham steak, cuts out a little sliver of it, and then bastes it in fresh thyme and butter in a sizzling silver saute pan. He very carefully steams the egg and makes sure to keep the yolk intact for that picturesque runny yolk at the end of this. And we can't forget the spicy mayo that you won't hear me complaining about after my rant on how much I loved the stuff last week. All of this is going to culminate in probably the most visually appetizing iteration of the day, so let's give the fourth and final option a shot. Can we get the egg yolk? Oh, Lord. That was a little bit runnier than I was expecting. This is delicious. The egg is cooked perfectly. I love the sear and the flavor on the ham. As you know, I'm a sucker for sriracha. It's probably my favorite hot sauce. The only thing that's holding this back, and I'm pretty shocked based on Joshua's history, is the English muffin. It's super firm and very dense. It's just like any kind of basic very dense white bread. And obviously with an English muffin, you want super big air pockets. You want like difference in texture. This might be hard to tell because the sauce is in the way, but just for comparison, you can kind of get a sense. This is a store-bought one. This is what you want with those huge air pockets. It just gets super crispy. It absorbs any topping or anything you put on it. This does not really have any of that. It's super dense, a lot more than Sam's as well. If you want to make the best version of this, make Sam's, except take out the teriyaki sauce, add in this spicy mayo, and then cook your egg like Joshua. But because of the pork, the mushrooms, the muffin on Sam's, I think he gets the dub for today. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. Thank you to all of our contestants for putting your recipes out on the interwebs for lowly wannabes like myself to recreate. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you do not already. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you right back here for the start of Pumpkin Spice Month 2021. Peace!
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.